Welcome to today's session. Today we're talking about why asking what matters to me is a very powerful, important question. If you're here live, please say hi and please feel free to comment, ask questions at any time. And if you're watching this on replay, please put in hashtag replay. Let me know you were here. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. I apologize too if the quality of the sound is off. I've been working with that for a week and I haven't been able to get to the bottom of the issue. So bear with the quality of the sound. I will continue to work on it. So I apologize. Hey, Kara. Oh, nice to see you. So glad that you're here. Or nice to see that you're here. I don't see you directly, but please ask any questions anytime. So let's get started. Oh, so I'm Peggy O'Neill. I'm the founder of Answering the Call, and I also work with people with a process called Wisdomary Leading, where we're leading our lives, our teams, our organizations, our families, our communities with wisdom. And it's based on the great wisdom traditions as well as evidence-based science. So as we ask the question, what matters to me, and look at why is that so powerful, we're going to explore how asking what matters to me can lead to an immediate experience of your true self, why other approaches often don't work, and what to focus on as you ask the question. So how does asking that question, what matters to me, how is the possibility that can lead to an immediate experience of your true self? And I'm going to have to start with really why other approaches often don't work. So often when we're working with ourselves or reading a book, we're working with a coach, somebody that's trying to help us discern what truly matters to us, we're often given exercises to do, like a series of questions to answer. Answer these questions. That'll give you information as to what matters to you. We're asked to meditate, with the question, well, we're probably not asked what matters to me. We're sitting with the question more like, well, we might be invited to ask what matters to be, but often the way that we hear that when we're meditating is we're looking for an answer. We're listening in a particular way that causes us to think that the answer is out there somewhere, that somehow it will come to us out there. And so that positioning, that context is going to get in the way of knowing what truly matters to us. We're also given exercises. I for years, in all kinds of coaching programs, was given various kinds of exercises, like answer all these questions and come up with a statement about what your purpose is. But it was always very intellectual for me. I never really connected for me. I had this nice statement, but it didn't. It was a statement. It didn't feel like me. And then values. Now, some people I know love values exercises, but the same thing. It didn't work for me. Why? What's your values? Okay, and then there's a list of values often to look at, to choose from. And why is that value important to me? Because I value family, and here's how I know I value family, because I spend time with them, or I thought I valued family, but I realized I don't spend time with them, so I'm going to change all that. So it's all from a doing, an answering question, intellectual, mind sort of experience. So that's why other approaches often don't work. They never work for me. So if they're not working for you, that may be why, because we're invited with these questions and exercises to more or less look out there, look at what's happening in our lives already, to answer questions in the way we've been taught in school, which is to think, what's our memory telling us, or a book told us, or something like that. So when we really ask the question, what matters to me, we're not doing any of that. In fact, we're not paying attention to any thoughts, to any thinking at all. What we're actually doing is we're turning around, looking within, being very quiet and still. What matters to me? And connecting somewhere in your body. So that's the next. So one of the topics today is what to focus on as you ask the question. For some people, it is the heart, and what I've found for me, sometimes I can focus there and it's useful. But sometimes it doesn't work for me because that's where our emotions are held a lot of the times. And so what matters to me can actually be, that question for many of us can actually be covered over with emotions, emotional patterns, something happening in our lives. And so that might actually keep us from accessing what truly matters to me. But if that works for you, so that'd be something to try out. What matters to me, go to your heart. Another place we're often encouraged to go to is like the gut area, the creative area, the second chakra area. Or we might be encouraged to go, well, from my experience, we're rarely encouraged to go to the third chakra, which is the solar plexus. But what I discovered on my own a few years ago, but I didn't have any confidence in it until fairly recently, is that there's actually an energy center between the heart and the solar plexus. And it's right below what's called the xiphoid process. So it's right here. It's right below this where our rib cage comes together. Let me double check that you can see me. I was looking at some notes here, so let's make sure. Yeah. And so it's right here below where our rib cage comes together, and where it comes together, and it's a physical part of our body that's called the xiphoid process. So it's not a process; it's just what the part of the body. That's the medical term for that part of the body. But it's right below that is an energy center that I have found is the place for me to ask myself what matters to me, or if we're trying to discern what to do next in our lives, it's a great place to focus what's next for me. But let's get back. Let me see if there are any questions or comments. Okay, none right now. So back to this question. So what to focus on? So it can often be useful to focus on an area of the body, and you want to play with what works for you. Is it the heart? Is it the throat? Maybe is it the maybe it's just the chest in general. Maybe anyway. I've already said them. For me, the xiphoid process. And like I said, this came to me just came to me one time 4, 5, 6 years ago, but I didn't trust it because it wasn't one of the chakras. And but fairly recently, I was watching somebody else lead a conversation, and she started talking about that. I'm going, oh my gosh, that's the place that seems like my power center. And so anyway, so that you can check that out, see if that's the place for you. So you focus on that, and then as you do that, your focus there, you've turned your attention totally internally. What matters to me? And then you're waiting to see what arises. So you don't pay any attention to any particular to regular thoughts. So this can get a little confusing here. As we work with this more to discover what matters to us, or maybe what we want to do in life, or what's next for us in our life, we want to start learning how not to listen to the thoughts that come to us all the time. You can do this, you should do this, you can't do that. That running narrative that's going on seems like in our mind all the time, in our brain, it's coming out of our brain. There's a whole other conversation about where thoughts really come from, but so what we start learning to do is discerning what are the thoughts that are those conditioned thoughts that are telling us about ourselves or about other people, and which are the thoughts, because they often come to us in thoughts. They can come in images, they can come in senses that our brain will interpret into a thought or a sentence or a phrase, and they have a different quality to them. Those thoughts, those ideas that come from out of nowhere, which I think we've all experienced. Where did that come from? I've never thought of that before. That's incredible. That has a different quality, usually a softer quality. It's almost like a foggy quality to it, or a foggy message. It's not just real clear. in the way that our thoughts can be really clear. So when we're trying to pay attention to thoughts, or paying attention to thoughts, again, that's another thing that doesn't work, why that doesn't work. So we want to recognize that what we're doing, again, we're being curious, but we're not even really trying to listen for anything. That's that's when our egoic self is trying to get in control. We're trying to get somewhere, we're trying to get an answer. It's not going to, usually isn't going to work, because that ego is trying to stay in control, and we want to get to the place of our essential nature, which is the openness, the allowing, the space that we are. And we do that when we turn around, look within, what matters to me. And if you notice that you go to thoughts, which you will, we all do, you relax the attention away from thoughts, and again, what matters to me. You don't say it like a mantra. You don't say it very often, just what matters to me. And allow yourself to sink into that question. And no one else knows this but you. Each of us is the only one that has access to what's within us. We're the only ones that know what we believe, what we feel, what touches us, what truly matters to us. And so that's why when we're quiet, we're not paying attention to our thoughts, we're relaxing our attention from them, we turn around, ask ourselves, what matters to me? We can actually, in that moment, experience our true selves, our true nature, because we're not paying attention to thoughts, we're not trying to figure something out, we're truly experiencing the awareness, the consciousness, the spaciousness that we are. That doesn't happen all the time, but I did offer that asking what matters to me can lead to an immediate experience of your true self. It's that sense of peace, that sense of, sometimes I've called it being at home, when I've worked with people who are trying to figure out what's next, or not figure out, but are trying to reveal to themselves what's next for them in their lives. Like, there's an at-home exercise that I use, but it's that experience of, this feels like home, peace, calm, allowing. All right, so I'll see if there are any questions, thoughts, comments, and then I'll review. It's very, very simple. It can be challenging if we're used to thinking and paying attention to our thoughts, trying to figure things out, trying to analyze, anytime we use our mind to try to answer these sorts of questions, it's going to take us more away from who we truly are, which is, of course, we can't, but it feels that way. It feels like we're taking ourselves away from who we truly are. So, again, when we ask what matters to me, how that can lead to an immediate experience of your true self is because you're relaxing attention away from thoughts, you're turning within, you're not trying to figure it out, what matters to me, and you're listening with pure curiosity. You have no idea what's going to come forward. And then you can, in that moment, experience your true self. And then I explain why other approaches often don't work, because they're trying to get us, again, innocently. Everybody's always doing the best that they can out there. Everybody means so well with trying to help us experience meaning and purpose and know what to do with our lives, how to live our lives. And most of those approaches are focused on doing something that to try to get us to our true self. And we can't get there from here. We can't get here from there. By doing all those exercises, it actually often takes us further away, because we're engaging in a rational, analyzing process. We're trying to do something to get to our true selves. We're trying to meditate to get to our true selves. We're trying to ask questions to get to our true self, instead of, we already are our true self, turning around, quietly asking, looking within. We can only know within by going within. That's it. The only way. Or you can let me know if you know another way, and we can talk about it. But from my experience, a lot of years working with this, that's the only way. The only way to know within, to know who your true self is, you have to go within. You can't get there by doing things to get there. That may sound like a doing, and of course it's a doing, but we're turning around and then we're allowing. We're opening. And then again, what to focus on is just find the place in your body that where it feels like, oh, that's where I can tell that's where that the answers to the questions are probably going to come from me when I'm focusing on a particular area of the body. Yes, they can come at any time from other places too, but today we're focusing specifically on looking at areas of the body that can work for your focus. So it could be the heart, it could be the gut, it could be the solar plexus. For me, it's that xiphoid process. All right, so that is it. Oh, and the one other thing, asking this question, what matters to me, it's also a direct path. You might have heard of the direct path to knowing who we are. That's a direct path. You just turn around, you're looking within. So you don't have to develop to get there. Again, meditate, all these things that we're trying to do something to get there instead of we're already there. We're going to turn around, we're going to know, oh, I'm already there. So I'm going to be there and see what's revealed. All right. Anything else? Oh, wonderful, Kara. I'm so glad that you love it. You're very welcome. It's great knowing that you were here today. Thanks, Kara. Have a wonderful day. And thanks everybody else who's watched this.